Alright, so I'm downstairs at the Skimmers. You can see both Skimmers side by side here. This is a 180 Xtreme. Companies may call Saltwater Connection, SWC. Very good, very reliable, very powerful skimmers. So I have a 180 Xtreme here and a 120, which is a smaller one. The big one is actually rated for a 400-gallon tank, and the small one is rated for like a 250. So having two skimmers here is like an overkill for me. But I need the overkill because I'm overstocked with the fish upstairs. So because of that, it's pulling a lot, twice as at least maybe 6 times as much pollutant out of the water out of my 155-gallon tank. So just opening this up, you can see the nice foam here on the plate, and there's the foam that's bubbling up. You can see all that gooky stuff that spills over as the foam head comes up. Let me just pull back here so you can take a better look at this. So that's a nice foam head here that is slowly, it's not rushing over, it's not spilling over the lip, but every so often it comes up and it flows over, or it may come up to the top and touch the top of the lid here, which is exactly what I want. So as it hits the lid, it flows over and then drops into the cup and then dissolves and releases those particles. Then that actually takes it down the drain hose to my sewage system. Right? So this is the smaller one that has a nice foam head on it right now. The bigger one, you can see it has a foam head, but it's a lot cleaner because it's really pulling out a lot of stuff. You can see all the grimy stuff on the perimeter of the collection cup. So so that's what it's supposed to be. So it's not flowing over, it's not too low, it's not too high. It's just at a point where if I start to feed the fish, it'll get really dark and green, and it'll get nice and foamy and start to ooze over the sides, just the foam and not the water. So that's how the skimmer should operate. It shouldn't be gushing over water. As a matter of fact, while I'm here, I'm going to show you what I'm going to do. I'm going to tweak this one down so you can see when it drops. Alright? So you see the foam head is going all the way down because I'm tweaking it downwards, right? Then I'm going to bring it back up. So on the side of my skimmer right here, you can see my little pencil mark. So this dot here is in line with my sweet spot. So once I have it tweaked like right here, I know it'll get my foam head exactly where I need it here. So if I go left of that dot, which I just did, if you notice, I'm starting to overflow. And I think this is exactly what happened to you yesterday. When you start to overflow like this, this is what you don't want. So I tweak it back, right, to the spot where I need it, right, and the foam head drops exactly where I want. So that's my sweet spot. That's where I keep it, so I don't run into any troubles with it not skimming too much or skimming too much or over skimming. It doesn't over skim or it doesn't under skim, right? Same thing with this one here. You can see the foam head is exactly where I want it, and you can see my markers here. Yes, so you see I have a few little tweak lines here. So this was one tweak line, here's another tweak line. So right now this dot is in line with this one right here. So this is my sweet spot. This keeps my foam at exactly where I want it. So if I go this way, it overflows. If I go this way, it drops the foam head down. So again, you have to play around with your foam head so you can know exactly what the sweet spot is. And then once you set these things, you don't have to touch them. But unless you want to flush out some grime out of it. So once you flush it, you can always go back to your preset markers. So at least you know where it is. So you don't have to be fidgeting, tweaking, and double tweaking, because if you're a few centimeters off left or right, it could mean that you're not skimming or you're over skimming and emptying your sump of the water. So that's it, Phil. That's it in a nutshell. I cleaned up my refugium. You can see I have some purple and green macroalgae growing in here. My B-Night trader is in the corner there doing its thing. Remember I told you about my reactor. Here's my reactor right here. It's running the GFO phosphate remover to keep my phosphates low. Phil, it's, this is it in a nutshell. I mean, once you get your skimmers locked in to the right settings, then you'll get your foam heads like what you have here. So I messed with this foam, so this foam is kind of dropped. It's kind of low right now, but this, but it's at the right spot. So in a few minutes, this foam head is going to come back up again to where I need it to be, and start pulling out stuff. And keep in mind, like I said, if your water is clean, it's not going to pull anything out. Because right now, you can see this, it's pretty much clean. You can see all the nasty, dirty particles that it pulled over the side here. So some days it will look clean like this, some days it's going to look really grimy and dirty like the cover here, Alright Phil, that's it. I'll talk to you soon.